Have you ever looked at your credit card statement and just had that sinking feeling like, how did I even get here? Well, you are definitely not alone. So today, we're going to dive into 7 super common but really costly debt mistakes that can silently drain your money and keep you from living the life you actually want. Let's break down these traps and, more importantly, figure out how you can start climbing out of them.
Okay, let me just throw a quick question out there to kind of set the stage. Let's say you've got a $10,000 credit card balance. The interest rate is 25% APR, which is pretty typical. Now, if you just follow the bank's suggestion and only pay the absolute minimum every month, how long do you think it's going to take to pay that off? Just take a guess.
30 years. That's not a typo. You'll be paying for stuff you bought today all the way until like 2054. This isn't just a bill, it's a financial trap. And you know what? It's designed that way. The whole system is structured to keep you paying and paying and paying for decades. And that brings us right to the very first huge mistake.
Yeah, this is the minimum payment trap. And what makes it so dangerous is that it doesn't feel like an emergency, right? The lights are still on, nobody's calling you. But trust me, this trap is designed to keep you financially shackled for years, if not decades.
I mean, that quote on the slide says it all, doesn't it? Just think about that for a second. Every single dollar you pay in interest is a dollar you could have invested or saved or spent on something you actually love. But instead, poof, it's just gone, up in smoke.
So, how do you get out of it? Well, the steps are simple, but that doesn't mean they're easy. These are your non-negotiable first moves. 1. You have to make a list of everything you owe, all of it. 2. Find the interest rate, the APR, for every single debt. And 3. Set up an automatic payment for more than the minimum on your highest interest debt. Seriously, even an extra $50 or $100 a month can literally cut years off your repayment time.
And that leads us right into mistake number 2, obsessing over tiny little things. Look, if you have a $20,000 debt, cutting out a couple of coffees isn't going to fix the problem. It's just not. We need to stop sweating the small stuff and start focusing on the big wins.
And this slide, this is a huge win right here. This is a word-for-word script I want you to use. Call your credit card company. Tell them exactly this. You're getting serious about paying off your debt and you want them to lower your APR. You're going to be polite, but you're going to be firm.
And why does one phone call matter so much? Well, look at the numbers. By making that one call and getting your APR dropped from 25% down to 12% on that same 10 grand balance, you could save over $10,000 in interest. 10 grand. The point is, you have to at least try.
Okay, next up is the third mistake, and that's just having no strategy at all. You know, people try to pay a little extra here, a little extra there, and they end up making almost no real progress anywhere. You have to understand, when you have high-interest debt, that is a financial emergency, and emergencies require a focused plan.
Now, there are really 2 main ways to go about this. You've got the snowball method, which is all about psychology. You knock out your smallest debts first to get those quick wins and build momentum. Then you've got the avalanche method, which is pure math. You attack the highest interest debt first to save the most money. You know what? Don't overthink it. Just pick one. The most important thing is having a plan and actually sticking to it.
Which brings me to mistake number 4, believing this myth that you have to be completely debt-free before you can even start investing. That is just not true. Even $50 a month makes a difference. Just look at this slide. Smart Sally invests for only 10 years, then stops. Naive Noah invests for 30 years, but he starts later. So who has more money at the end? Sally, by a lot. The lesson here is that time is your most valuable asset, and you can never ever get it back. Start today.
Mistake number 5 is a big one. It's completely ignoring your savings. I mean, think about it. What put a lot of people into debt in the first place? It was probably some unexpected expense, right? A car repair, a medical bill. Your savings account is the safety net that stops that from ever happening again.
And the solution here is so simple. All you have to do is set up an automatic transfer for 5 to 10% of your take-home pay. And, this is key, it has to go into a separate high-yield savings account. If you just do this one thing, I can almost guarantee that after a couple of months, you won't even miss the money. So we've got debt payments, we're investing, we're saving. I know, it feels like a lot to juggle. And that brings us to mistake number 6, relying on willpower and these crazy, complicated spreadsheets. You don't need a budget that makes you track every penny. You need a system.
And this is that system. It's called the Conscious Spending Plan. It's really simple. It just divides your take-home pay into 4 buckets. You've got about 50 to 60% for your fixed costs, rent, utilities, 10% for investments, 5 to 10% for savings, and then the rest, that 20 to 35%, is for your guilt-free spending.
Okay, now here is the absolute key if you're in debt. That 20 to 35% for guilt-free spending, you have to shrink it, maybe way down to 10% or even 8%. And you take every dollar of that extra money and you redirect it. You fire hose it straight at your high-interest debt. This one move can shave years and years off your repayment time.
All right, we've made it to the 7th and final mistake, and honestly, this is by far the most destructive one. It's that I'll start after my birthday, or I'll get to it when things calm down mindset. It is the incredibly high cost of just doing nothing.
The hard truth is really simple. Time works against you when you have debt. Every single day that you put this off, every day you delay taking action, your debt is growing. Procrastination is literally costing you money.
But how much are we talking about?
For some people, the daily cost of "I'll do it later" is more than $100 a day. Can you even imagine walking to your window every single morning and lighting a $100 bill on fire? Of course not. You'd be horrified. But that is exactly what's happening, just quietly, inside your accounts.
So let's end with this. We are not aiming for perfection here. Forget perfection. We are aiming for progress. Forget about figuring out the absolute perfect plan tomorrow. What is crucial is taking one small step today. So, what is the one thing you will do right now to get started?